There have always been a few, ready to fight and win. Since 1775, these few have been Marines, and they come from across this land to defend the future of our nation. This year, our Corps celebrates 250 years, and Marines are proud to serve this country, each other, and all that is still to come for America.
High school sports fans, relive your favorite moments. Just click the shopping cart below the video player to get your digital copy today.
This high school gym used to be packed most nights. Not anymore. Do you know why? Because bad behavior by fans, especially adults, has caused a shortage of game officials across the country. You see, without officials, we can't have sports. Don't let this become reality. It's time for a change. Let's bench bad behavior for good.
Hey, conductor! How about something new? You played this last year.
Come on, get your head out of your sacks.
Shh, we're trying to hear.
Well, I'm sick and tired of hearing your kid play the wrong notes. Where's my kid solo?
At least you can see your kid. Why is my kid stuck way in the back?
The conductor only plays his favorites.
My kid heard that solo!
You saying I did?
Yeah,
Come on! What's wrong with you?
High school sports fans, relive your favorite moments. Just click the shopping cart below the video player to get your digital copy today.
There have always been a few, ready to fight and win. Since 1775, these few have been Marines, and they come from across this land to defend the future of our nation. This year, our Corps celebrates 250 years, and Marines are proud to serve this country, each other, and all that is still to come for America.
corralled in. There's Moon. 8 points a game, 8 rebounds a game for Anthony. McNeil swings it over. Brown. Yeah, I mean, these are all half-court sets right now. Good look from 3, too long. McNeil not able to convert, 5:20 remaining now.
Looks like Newton is content to come down and run some offense as well.
Little pick and roll. Harden says no, get away, I'm going solo. And solo is a charjo. So Zach wanted to take him one-on-one and a little bit overzealous on that exchange.
Talked about it with Coach Browner before the game. Play together, share the basketball. There it looked like Harden waved off the pick and roll to call his own number, and it ends in a charge there. Maybe next time, use the pick and roll the coach is calling for.
He wants his guards to go downhill, does Coach Browner. That was a little bit too fast downhill. Is this going to be one of those games that a team trails the entire way and then wins the game after leading for no seconds on the clock? It almost has the potential for that. I mean, Pebblebrook maybe has been leading for, I don't know, 45 seconds combined the whole game. Moon with his second.
Pebblebrook responded to an early run by Newton in the first quarter to take an early lead, but since then it's been Newton kind of hanging on. Pebblebrook has taken a couple leads, but for the most part, if you look at the first 28 minutes of the game, I would bet Newton has led for well over 25 minutes.
But it hasn't been by a ton. I mean, it's been basically between 1 and 4 points. It's a pendulum just going slightly up and down. Long 3 for Harden. And well cleared by Moon. Citrana takes a dive. He's back on the floor.
Pebblebrook changed the defensive look there, but they're still really willing to let Newton shoot the ball.
No good. That's too heavy. It does feel like these guys aren't looking to be so up and down. 3-point advantage approaching the midway mark here of the fourth. McNeil guarding. Swing pass, no look across. 3 ball, no good. Harden can't get it to go, but stay right here with 9 on the shot clock. No, they're going to reset it, obviously. 25.
You want to be aggressive to some degree. You don't want to get away from your initial game plan, but you also got to value possessions late in the game. I think you still got to tend to be a little bit more aggressive until you get in the final 2 minutes or so.
Inbounds, 3, just rims out. Now looking to push of the Falcons, down 3. Driving the lane with a strong move, just out of bounds. McNeil will keep possession. Appreciate you joining us here on the network with Jack Hunter and Andrew Tulowitzki. I'm Justin Hanover, Alex Magruder on the sidelines. As we have a fight to the finish in the march to Macon, the final game of this season in the semifinals. Hard defense being played, down low, tough shot, double clutch, no good. And that'll be foul going the other way. Anthony Moon.
Something to keep an eye on, foul situation. I think one more foul will put Newton in the bonus.
Yeah, 4 on Pebblebrook, 3 on Newton. That'll play a part for sure.
And Newton's been really letting it fly from distance their last few possessions, and that's something we've talked about, notably how they have no 3-pointers made in this game. They've really just been getting to the cup. I think this is one of those offensive possessions right here, catch your breath, where you really want to get something good and maybe probably get Ted Neal to the lane.
Yeah, again, Ted with 4 fouls right here, but certainly need him in with under 3.5 to go. It's crunch time.
You got to be careful if you're Neal. You want to be aggressive on offense, but not too aggressive where you might pick up an offensive foul inside.
Good post up. Oh, that's such good positioning there by Green. It was 1 off the ball to extend the lead now to 5.
To your point, Jack, you had just mentioned Newton's got to get something inside. After a couple long-range threes, they do that and get 2.
Moon back to Brown, no good. The threes are just not dropping right here. Pebblebrook well off their pace of 9 a game in the playoffs. So 48-43, take a deep breath. Newton still in, well, I don't want to say control, but we have not seen this dip into a deficit really for a while, and when it did, it was only 1 point. Pebblebrook started the season 4-0. Remember, they lost 3 in a row there towards the end of November, early December. Fell at Kell 70-68. Then to Wasatch Academy in Utah, 61-42. Lost to a really good McEachern team by 6. They've steadied the ship, though. And the Falcons here within 5, looking to get back to another championship. 2 runner-up finishes for George Washington. 6 Final Four as a head coach here. But they've got some work to do as you see the Pebblebrook cheerleaders cheering on their team. Now let's go to the other side. The Newton cheerleaders as they look to get their first championship potentially. The women, they did their thing. London Smith outdueled London Weaver. Newton, 2 minutes and 54 seconds away from the double to get both squads into Macon.
Every coach we've talked to talks about rebounding. And in this situation, under 3 minutes to go, it's going to be so crucial for Pebblebrook. They cannot allow Newton to get second chances on the glass.
The Newton Ram, distracted and not happy about something there, shaking his head. I'm sure he's happy about the scoreboard.
On the other side of that, talk about rebounding. If you're Pebblebrook and you're going to take some long threes, you got to be ready to attack the offensive glass. You're going to need some extra possessions to get back in this game.
Still plenty of time, but they do have to defend right here, and that's a good dribble drive penetration. Lead now swells to 7. Marcus Smith showing off.
I think that ties the largest lead since the first quarter.
Yeah. This thing's never gotten out of hand, but we're a possession or 2 away from it getting out of hand. Timeout called. Today's game also available for all subscribers via the NFHS Network Live mobile app for Apple and Android devices. Download the app from the Apple App Store or Google Play Store today. Start watching live games wherever you are. Don't forget, next week in Macon, all the championships. The winner here will face Wheeler at 7:30 next Saturday. The 6A ladies will play preceding that at 5:30 in a rematch battle with Grayson and Newton. The Rams have won the first 3 meetings. It doesn't matter, though, who won the first 3 meetings. All Newton needs to do is go 1-3 against Grayson this season, and they'll be just tickled happy.
You hear that phrase, it's hard to beat a team 3 times. I don't know that I've heard one for when you play a team 4 times. Be interested to see what happens.
Well, you had all those like Duke, North Carolina rivalries. You know, they play twice. They play in the ACC championship. But yeah, 4 that's a gaudy number. You're doing something right when you play a team 4 times.
Yes. It's crucial that Pebblebrook get a bucket here. If they can't score and Newton can run some clock, they're really, really in trouble.
Yeah, you're getting down to having to play a perfect final 2 minutes. Little weave up top. Harden's going to get called for, I think, the hand check.
1.4 on the shot clock, so that foul kind of bailed Pebblebrook out.
Next foul, Pebblebrook will also be in the bonus. Again, continue to be aggressive. What you want to do is get something downhill, or you can get an uncontested layup, or if they do help, you can kick it out to an open shooter. But they got to get a bucket here to get this back to a 4 or 5 point game.
And Zach just checked out. I don't think that was his 5th foul, but we're not privy to that here. That rolls out. Oh, that's big. And then the foul the other way on McNeil. That can be a 4-point differential on that exchange.
I know Brown had some length coming at him in the corner, but I would have liked to see him catch that in rhythm and let it fly from the corner 3.
I think the theme today, guys, has really been a lot of missed shots. No team has really been in a rhythm. There hasn't been a ton of clicking offensively. It's been just gutty performances, trying to grind these games out.
Well, there's a lot of familiarity in some of these games too. Like, you know, we talked about Wheeler and Grayson. They played earlier today. They're familiar. They'd already played once this year. They see each other every year in the postseason. Yeah. Same thing here. Pebblebrook and Newton, they're no strangers to one another. The more times you play against these guys, you get used to what they're doing, and these games turn into grinded out defensive battles.
They need this to make it 6, and it rattles out.
That's been the story of the night for Pebblebrook.
Yep, so it's a 9-point game, 90 seconds to go, and it's now a mountain to climb for the Falcons. Marcus Smith content to just try and dribble as much clock as he can. They can drain this all the way down to a minute. Smith, some fancy Harlem Globetrotter type dribbling, but he gives it away. No good. Everything is just clanking out. And they'll call that foul with a minute even to go here.
And this is 1 minute left in the game, and we're still at the point where Newton has not hit a 3.
That's wild.
And they're up 9.
That's wild. And do we know how many Pebblebrook had? Was it 3 or 4?
I think they've hit 5 or 6.
They're at 5 or 6
They're
now?
at 6 at last count.
Okay. Still well off that number of 9 they've had in the wins against Walton, Lambert, and Archer.
That just speaks volumes to the caliber of team that Newton is. They're tough, they're physical, they've got a little bit of everything. And as we mentioned it before the broadcast started, sometimes their defense creates offense, and you saw that quite a bit tonight for the Newton Rams.
Well, if it's Newton, they've got a tough hombre to try and conquer on Saturday, that's for sure. The Wheeler Wildcats looking for their 4th state championship in 6 years. And Newton now up double digits with 60 seconds to go. Pebblebrook needs to score, and they need to score in a hurry. No foul there. You don't want to foul. So McNeil's able to cut the deficit to 8 with 51.9. Certainly we'll see full court press. We'll see trying to get a steal. If not, they're going to be forced to foul.
I think it's a situation where in the huddle, you're probably going to be some sort of man-to-man pressure. Do you go center field and not guard the inbounder? Do you guard the inbounder? A lot of options here, but at the end of the day, you're probably going to get one trap in the corner and maybe a second trap, and at that point, you're probably going to have to foul. You got to be aggressive to go for the basketball and see if you can get a turnover, or maybe you do get some contact with the player and the refs miss a call. You've got to be aggressive defensively to try to force a turnover here.
But I don't think you foul right away. I think you try and get the steal and get the ball. There's still 51.9. You can afford to bleed 7-8 seconds off in attempting to get a steal.
Yep, one to 2 traps in this scenario. Anything beyond that, they're probably getting the ball across half court. At that point, you're definitely going to have to foul. There'll be too much time off the clock.
It's interesting to see how well both Newton squads, the boys and the girls, have peaked at this time. You know, we chronicled already the girls' team blown out by Grayson. Well, the boys' team blown out by Grayson by 16, 10, and 12. This team looks like a much better team now than I'm sure they were then. So give these coaches from Newton a ton of credit for really getting the teams, and here we go, to the point in the season where you want to peak.
And that's exactly what you don't want to do right there if you're the Newton Rams.
No, that was a relative disaster in that 1 second of play.
And that's exactly what Coach Washington drew up in the huddle.
Steal the ball and either put it in or get fouled. Now, Max, you've got to make those free throws. They can make it a 2-possession game. Pebblebrook has had at times some free throw woes, and it could be rearing its ugly head right now.
Really important that you hit this one so you can set your press back up.
And it rolls out. It's a good trap in the corner. Well, you know what? If Newton survives, at least if you're Coach Browner, you've got a little something you need to work on right here. A coach always wants something in their back pocket to say, nope, you didn't do that well enough. And I think he's happy all in all, but I think he's going to work on this if they advance.
Coach Browner might need to hook up with Coach Bailey, figure out something different against the press. Whatever they've done the last 2 possessions have not worked. I think it's just
and Wheeler will be watching this, I'm sure. You know, they'll see what is looking like a potential deficiency.
Coach Bailey, the girls coach from the Newton Rams, they control the second half. Wow.
What is going on? In 13 seconds of play, we have just seen defensively a 5-0 run. This is wild. So 53-43. Newton was in the lead. I believe they missed a couple of free throws, which could have swelled that even further. Pebblebrook goes down. They've gotten a couple of steals, an offensive rebound. Their trap has worked well, and they've whittled this in half now to a 5-point deficit. They've done exactly what they wanted for 13 seconds of action.
And a part of me is a little surprised by this. Obviously, the full-court trap into the game, it's a different setting, different scenario. But these teams are used to playing really fast, making quick decisions.
And guard heavy. They should be able to, yeah.
So you would think these teams would be really strong in these situations. So it is surprising to see Newton struggle like this here.
Yeah, when you've got Marcus Smith and, well, you've got Harden, I think, on the bench now. And you've got, you know, other guys that can handle the ball. It should be easy pickings. The other team's got
forwards can handle the basketball a little bit. So a little surprised to see them turn it over 3 straight times like they have. Let's see what Coach Browner drew up here in the huddle.
Maybe this is
Newton can execute.
Maybe this is one of those opportunities where you can go long court, where somebody runs in and then somebody runs out to an open space because they're not able to handle it so far doing this. Well, now they have. Oh boy, that's stolen. Zyree Brown. You can afford a 2 here. And they're going to get none. Look at that defensive run back.
And you feel like that play was a little bit, both guys, you got to come back to the basketball a little harder, but you also can't throw that pass. So both guys there at fault.
With 4 fouls, though, the effort from Ted Neal right there to avoid the foul. 25 seconds to go. They can get it 2. They're going to take a 3. No way. Oh, baby. Are we witnessing something? Zyree Brown, it's an 8-0 run in 31 seconds. Do you believe in miracles, Al Michaels?
Coach Washington fired up over there on the Pebblebrook sideline. Pebblebrook faithful in attendance going crazy as well. I can't believe, guys, we were just talking about, it was a 9 or 10 point lead.
Less than a 10-point lead. Yeah, it's an 8-0 run in 31 seconds. You've got to handle your business, and they're not handling their business. And look at the crowd, they love it.
That's Brown's 5th triple of the game. I mean, he's a microwave scorer. That man can put the ball in the basket, and they needed that shot to go. They needed that shot to stay in this game, and he drilled it from the college line.
Downtown Zyree Brown. I mean, and there's still 20 seconds.
Plenty of time to set up your pressure.
Even if they're able to break it and you foul, they still have pressure having to make 2.
And Newton has not shot it well from the free throw line in the 4th quarter.
This place is a little emptier than it was about a minute or 2 ago. So hopefully the fans that are making their way home have tuned in and are seeing what's going on.
Well, and the Rams have, you know, they've got pressure on them right now. It's not as easy. You see them coming out. They look very businesslike. See Bryce Jackson and R.J. Wilson.
Some similarities in this game. Yesterday, if you joined us, Woodward and Langston Hughes. Woodward had a big lead that they almost gave up late in the game due to some of the same issues.
And you know what? It must have been, by the way, when Zach Harden exited, that had to have been his 5th foul. And at that point, remember, that you get rid of a really good handling guard, their point guard. So once they lost Zach, that became a big moment. I don't know if we harped on that enough. Couple of big free throws right here.
This is probably, you know, you got an interior player to the free throw line. You foul who you wanted to.
That's a big one from R.J. Wilson. Get that front end like that, relieve a little bit of pressure. Now you try and make it a 2-possession game. Either way, I think Pebblebrook can go down and try and get a quick 2. No good. Offensive rebound. He had to do that. I don't mind that. 3-point game. You could still get a 2. Good interior pass. 1-point game. Clock is running. 8 seconds to go. They have no timeouts. 4.1. Let's see if they could put something more on the clock.
There's got to be closer to 5.5 seconds, you would think.
Let's see.
But I don't know. This place is so loud that we couldn't even really hear the whistles.
Yeah, they definitely waited. They didn't give the ticky-tack right away. So a 54-53 Newton lead. Let's see what they do if they pull guys off the line here or what. But 4.1 to go. Obviously, you want to make both.
You do have the official at the scores table.
Are they going to look at it all?
Stoppage.
I don't think there's anything more than 5.
Yeah.
And they put 4.6 on it. Was 4.1. So 4.6. That's a big one. Still, it's going to be a 1-possession game either way.
And no timeouts for Pebblebrook. They're going to have to get something. You know, you don't want to throw it in 90 feet from the basket. You got to get something a little bit closer to the 3-point line or half court.
Still 4.6 is time.
Plenty of time.
You can get a rundown and get a decent look of a 3.
Plenty of time.
That's good. Now do you foul, though? That's the age-old question. I think you do. If you're Barry Browner, they inbounds the ball, they dribble to half court, and I think, 1.8, you sort of reach in and foul.
1 to 2 dribbles at most. Hopefully you've worked on these situations. If you haven't, then you probably don't want to foul because you're asking a player to do something you haven't practiced a lot. But in this situation, if it's something you've been over, 1 or 2 dribbles and foul right around 2.5 seconds. Newton has rebounded the ball a little bit more effectively than Pebblebrook, so you're okay with putting your guys on the free throw line and saying get 1 defensive rebound to finish this thing off.
Yeah, the foul strategy, I mean, it seems like the most logical option. You just got to be careful you don't foul a shooter. Because if Pebblebrook senses, we're coming for the foul, they're going to maybe try to hoist one up.
Yeah. Make a decision for an official. Was he really shooting from midcourt?
I mean, it's March. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, 4.6, guys. We've seen crazier things. We've seen Christian Laettner back in the day, Cameron Dollar with UCLA. There's enough time here.
The only thing you don't want to do, obviously you don't want to turn the basketball over, get a deflection, but if you're Pebblebrook, you want to get something where your offensive players are going
running
to the other end of the floor.
Yeah.
You don't want to catch it back towards the inbounder where your momentum is going the wrong way.
Well, they're not going to be able to get it down court. They're going to have to throw on their half court. Here we go. Are they going to foul? No. Shot for the tie. Oh, and it rims out. The Newton Rams has survived. They've pulled off the double, and they're going to make it. A fight to the finish here at Georgia State. Wow. I did not think we were going to witness what we witnessed about 6 or 7 minutes ago.
You've got to get a ton of credit to Pebblebrook for battling back down as much as 9 or 10. You got to credit these guys. They played their tails off for 32 minutes, can't hang their head, and gave themselves a chance to tie and force overtime. What a valiant effort by George Washington's Pebblebrook Falcons.
That's such an awesome basketball game. Highest level classification in Georgia, and it delivered.
They just kept fighting, guys. They just kept fighting. Let's go down. The coach, take it away.
All right, thanks, Coach. Congrats on the great victory. You're headed to Macon. You're facing Grayson. You faced him 3 times this season and lost all 3. Now you get a chance to... Oh, Wheeler. Excuse me. You're playing Wheeler. A great team in Wheeler. Your team is prepared. Obviously, you had a great showing. What are your mindset going into that one?
Just excited for our guys, excited for our community. Man, it's awesome that like our boys and our girls made the state championship. So that's an awesome feeling for us. also feeling for our program, also feeling for our community in Covington.
So you were an assistant coach 4 years ago.
Yes, sir.
In your second year as head coach, you're now headed to Macon for a chance to win a state title. How does it feel, and who do you credit your success to?
Man, just my guys, just my administration, man, my players, my coaches, man, everybody that stuck with us, man, just proud of us and proud of our community, man. I can't talk about the community enough. Shouts out to Covington, Georgia.
Well, congrats, Coach, and good luck in Macon.
Yes, sir.
All right, thanks, Alex. Appreciate that. How can you not root for that guy? He seems like the nicest, happiest-go-lucky, and he's a whale of a coach for sure. All right, guys, 4 games, really good day. Final thoughts, Andrew.
What a day of basketball. All 4 games were really, really competitive in the highest classification, some of the best basketball you'll see in the country. And what a way to finish it off. An incredible game that went down to the final shot. Really good basketball teams in the Pebblebrook Falcons and Newton Rams. And how exciting for Newton that both of their teams, girls and boys, are going to move on to play for a state championship in Macon next week.
And Jack, you've been here every step of the way.
Yeah, I think it was really exciting that both Newton and Grayson had boys and girls teams here playing today. And I think that the biggest takeaway for me today is that while there was about 1 or 2 games that everybody was kind of looking at and maybe 1 or 2 games that more people were writing off, all 4 games delivered. And, this is the, quote-unquote inferior side of the bracket, because you've got the 2 powerhouses in Grayson and Wheeler that played earlier today. But this game was a fantastic game. Both of these teams are extremely talented. And look, on paper, Wheeler's going to be the favorite, but I think it's going to be a fight.
Yeah, Newton certainly proved their worth here. They are not a fluke. They're well coached. They're talented. They're fast. They're big. They're strong. And they're smart. So next Saturday night, the girls in 6A will go at 5:30 at the Macon Coliseum. And the boys with Newton and Wheeler will be at 7:30. What a day of basketball it was. Thanks to everybody here making it possible. Daniel Searle running the ship, doing everything, producing and directing. Ruth Zemedin, Gideon Zemedin, Thomas Schwartz, thank you guys. Great work with the cameras. Daniel Estrada, Asher Fink, Jason Crow, Anahi Granado, and of course the guys right here, Jack Hunter, Alex Magruder. Appreciate you guys, Andrew Tulowitzki. This has been a pleasure to be here for 4 phenomenal games. We'll see you, hopefully, in Macon next week. I'm Justin Hanover. This has been a production from Westminster and a presentation of the NFHS Network.